Why you can't stop scrolling. You just want to check the time. That is the only reason you picked up your phone. 1 glance. 2 seconds. 47 minutes later, you are still here. Your thumb moves in a mechanical rhythm. Up. Pause. Up. Pause. Up. There is no new information. Nothing important has happened in the last 3 minutes. But your thumb does not stop. Your brain does not give the command to stop. You close the app. You open it again. You close it. You open it. You are not even conscious of the motion anymore. It feels like a reflex. It feels like hunger. And here is the question you ask yourself every single night, staring at the glowing screen at 2 a.m. Why can't I stop? You blame the algorithm. You blame the tech companies. You blame your own weak willpower. You think you are broken. You think you are addicted. But the real answer is far stranger. This is not a malfunction of the modern brain. It is not a design flaw in your psychology. This is a perfectly preserved survival program written in your nervous system, inherited from people who lived in the frozen fjords of Scandinavia 1,200 years ago. The Viking inside your skull does not know you are looking at a screen. It thinks you are hunting, and it will never, ever tell you to stop. The Viking hunting brain. To understand why you cannot stop scrolling, you have to understand what it means to be a predator. Not a modern predator, not a lion or a shark, a human predator. Humans are not the strongest hunters. Your ancient ancestors could not outrun a deer. They could not overpower a bear. They had no claws, no fangs, no fur to survive the cold. What they had was endurance. And more importantly, they had a brain that was obsessed with the chase. This is where the Vikings enter the story. When a Viking crew left the shores of Norway to raid, trade, or explore, they did not know where they were going. They had no maps, no GPS. The horizon was empty. The sea was infinite. The only thing they could see was the next wave and the next. But their brains released a chemical that kept them going. That chemical is dopamine. Now here is the first thing you need to unlearn. You have been told that dopamine is the molecule of pleasure. You have been told that it makes you feel happy. That is wrong. Dopamine is the molecule of pursuit. It is the chemical of anticipation. It is released not when you catch the prey, but when you see a sign that prey might be there. Every time a Viking spotted a bird in the distance, which meant land was nearby, his brain released a surge of dopamine. Not joy, just a signal. Keep going. Something is out there. Do not stop. Every time they saw smoke on the horizon, which meant a village, a raid, a source of food, dopamine. Keep going. The chase itself became the reward. The not knowing became the fuel. Now look at your phone. Your brain is receiving exactly the same signals. Every time you scroll and see something new, a new image, a new headline, a new face, your brain releases a microdose of dopamine. Not pleasure, just a whisper. Keep going. Something is out there. Do not stop. You are not looking for prey. You are looking for the possibility of prey. A funny video, a piece of gossip, a comment that makes you feel seen, a post that makes you angry. Your Viking brain does not care about the content. It cares about the novelty. Because novelty was the only clue ancient humans had that something useful or dangerous was nearby. And here is the cruel trick. The Vikings eventually reached land. The chase ended. The dopamine stopped. But you never reach land. You never find the final post. Because there is no final post. You are rowing forever. The counterintuitive twist. But here is the part no one tells you. Dopamine is not the enemy. The algorithm is not the enemy. You are. Not because you are weak, but because your brain is designed to deceive you into wanting things that do not exist. The Viking who saw smoke on the horizon was not sure there was food there. There could be enemies. There could be nothing, but his brain made him feel like there was definitely something worth finding. That feeling was an illusion, a survival trick to force him to move. Now look at your screen. You feel that same illusion. You know there is nothing important in the next scroll. You know it, but your brain creates a feeling of certainty. Just one more. This is the one. That is completely false. You are not chasing a reward. You are chasing a ghost that your own brain invented to keep you alive in a world that no longer exists. That is the real twist. Not that you are addicted, but that you are being lied to by your own biology. And here is something even stranger. Most people will tell you to fight the urge, to have willpower, to be stronger than your phone. That advice misunderstands everything. Your brain is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem is not your brain. The problem is that your brain has been dropped into an environment it never evolved to handle. Think about it this way. Your brain is a tool built for scarcity. For thousands of years, novelty was rare. Information was rare. Social connection was rare. Every time your ancestors found any of these things, it was a big deal, a survival event. So your brain built a system that says, when you find novelty, pay attention. When you find information, keep it. When you find a social signal, analyze it deeply. Now you live in abundance. Infinite novelty, infinite information, infinite social signals. Your brain is doing the same thing it always did, but now it is drowning in the very thing it was designed to seek. You are not broken. You are overwhelmed. The modern reflection. Now, let us bring this back to your daily life. You cannot sleep at night because your brain is still scanning the horizon for threats and opportunities. It does not know you are in a bedroom. It thinks you are standing on a shore at dusk, looking for signs of danger or food. You cannot focus at work because your brain is convinced there is something more important on the other side of that screen. Something that could change everything. A message, a notification, a piece of news. You check your ex's story, not because you still love them, but because your brain needs to know what they are doing, because in the Viking Age, a former partner forming a new alliance could literally mean your death. You feel anxious when your phone is not in your pocket, because your brain interprets the absence of information as a threat. Silence was dangerous to your ancestors. It meant something was wrong. It meant predators were nearby, or the tribe had abandoned you. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are a perfectly calibrated hunting machine that has been dropped into an infinite ocean of digital prey with no shore in sight. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a Viking longship and a smartphone. It cannot tell the difference between a horizon and a screen. It is doing its job perfectly. The problem is that the world changed faster than your brain could evolve. The closing loop. So the next time you find yourself at 2 a.m., thumb frozen mid-scroll, asking yourself why you cannot stop, remember this. You are not a failure. You are a Viking standing at the edge of the sea. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. The tragedy is not that you are addicted. The tragedy is that your environment has given you an endless ocean to search, but no land to ever arrive at. That is not a personal flaw. That is a mismatch between a 50,000-year-old brain and a 5-year-old technology. Now, put the phone down. Not because you are strong enough to win the battle against your own biology, but because knowing the truth that you are hunting nothing is the only way to stop wanting to. Because the moment you see the illusion loses its power. What are you actually looking for right now? And what would happen if you stopped searching for just 1 minute? Comment below, how many times did you check your phone while watching this video? Be honest. End of script.